Good morning, good morning, good morning. Seem to be live on both YouTube and Twitch. As long as everything's working. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? I did test the mic out earlier. Okay, good. Did test the mic out earlier, but I always get scared after that incident a couple days ago, so good. I've barely looked at the markets. I've only been awake for 20 minutes, so we'll look at things together. Let's see here. Tighter range today in the copper market. Copper did well for me last night. It would have been 4 for 4 before I went to bed, but I only took one trade. So we'll see here. Copper seems to have trended downward. Did a little sideways M pattern and continued downward. Now it's trying to bounce up. Have about a 9-point range. Not really point, but just get the point. Get the point, huh? The broader market here, the S&P 500. That there. Very tight compared to the last few days, it looks like. So it looks like we just set a new high for the day. And by very tight, that's relative. Still 32, 40, 44 points. So that's still a good range, a good size range. Copper is trying to push up. So we'll keep an eye on that. We are starting the morning up $280 on the Gauntlet account for the day. That was $250 on copper, $30 on one micro NASDAQ contract. 2 for 2 on trades on this trading day. This red you see on that sim account was just testing. There is a micro for copper. I shouldn't say a micro, a mini for copper. I was testing it out. It's barely traded, and I found out it's not like a normal mini. It's 1/2 the size of a regular contract instead of 1/10. So I just closed that out and got rid of it. Stick with my regular size copper. So it's a good start for today. Let's see, crude. Crude's establishing highs as well. Wonder what those lines are. We'll get rid of them because we don't know. Move this all the way up. Right there. So, we've got a little over a 1-point range on crude today so far. Gold. Gold's been on a downtrend basically since open. Interesting because yesterday it just uptrended from morning on. It's pretty, it's coming close to giving that all back. Oops. Maybe it's found its bottom. It's like about a 13-point range so far in the trading day. As a matter of fact, we just got a buy signal on it. Actually, we just missed the buy signal on it. It's sitting there at like, oh wow, yeah. That just didn't give me the time that I needed to react. So we'll watch and see if that runs. Over on bonds, which I've been watching closely lately, you can see, looks like that would have, well, let's see. I don't know. That would have stopped me out. I've been trying to follow this with the the EMA line, see what would work and what wouldn't based on that strategy. And looks like, honestly though, just following the bot might work too. Look at yesterday. First of all, you can see here, I'm running an 8 by 5, 8 tick winner, 5 tick loser on these. Just playing the breaks of the SMA. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep doing that. EMA. Sometimes there's lots of time to react. It depends whether that signal comes in with 5 seconds to go or 5 minutes to go. You can see here. That was rude of you, NQ. I was talking. There we go. So you can see here, this is on today. This will be using the strategy to be 3 of 4. Please excuse my morning blah. And yesterday would have been 1, 1 2, 1 3 1 4 1 4 to 1. So far using this strategy would be 7 and 2, which is quite amazing. And actually, I wouldn't have taken this trade here, but it would have actually went to target. I wouldn't have taken it because of the bands. Almost a band break. So this is something to watch because bonds can be fun, according to CFT. So, but actually, if you look at the actual bot calls, I mean, that one wouldn't have worked, but this one would have, that one would have, that one would have. I would have never taken that one. I don't take a buy signal on a strong downtrend. This one, uh, 23 to 29. Okay, that one would not have, but that one would have, that one would have, and that one would have. So bonds might be something that actually has some potential to it. Maybe CFT's right after all. The Russell. Let's move its lines. Let's find its lines. There we go. Boom. Low. High. Oops. Establishing new highs. It's been trending upwards, but it's kind of an ugly. I mean, you had this ugly choppiness, and even as it started trending upward, you had this ugly choppiness. Big tail there at 230. Hmm. I don't like that the software does not tell me how many people are viewing. Oops. Did not want to do that. Guess I should close that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that flashing clock. I was looking for the YouTube link. Did I close down my windows? Oops. No, I didn't. Or I did. Give me a second here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Working out some kinks on this whole YouTube thing. Okay. Looks like I'm live there. I can't see if YouTube tells me if anyone's there yet. Looks like not. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now let's see what we can see here. Last night on copper. This is where I went to bed, but I think this is the trade I took that got me the $250 winner. As you can see, as of the time I went to bed, no, it was actually over here, I believe. This is the time I went to bed. I would have had four winners if I had taken all of these trades, 4 for 4. This one would have been scary because it went deep into toward my stop loss before finally going my way. So let's, since there's not much popping right now, let's chart the rest of the night out. When they got another buy signal in the 5 minute until 2:15, so see this trade would have lasted quite a while, about almost 2 hours. That's why you can't be hanging on every tick, because 2 hours is a long time. So that would have made it 5 for 5. See here, 220, 215. It's here. Did get another sell signal here, but big band break. So that actually called the reversal here. 215 at 24.21. Should set this up as a template. I really should. I don't know. I guess I might set up the entry price as a template too. I'm not sure. I'll have to try that one day. Okay, so that one would have worked. So now 6 for 6 on trades. Looks like this one might not. Let's see. 250, 250, right there. I'm gonna mark it off. It'll be a loss, but I doubt there's any way would have actually taken that trade. Well, thank you, Jay. Are you now watching both? Uh, so hello to my YouTube and Twitch crowd. Thank you for joining me on this experiment. It seems like it's working. He's not here yet. He's probably not even awake yet, but I got to thank CFT for testing out that Restream software and figuring out. I thought I had to pay for it in order to go live on 2, but I guess I don't. He figured that out, let me know, and now we're golden. It looks like I could also, if I wanted to, and I don't at this point, stream to Facebook. Now, what's cool is that I have the Restream window up, so I can see the chat from both YouTube and Twitch all in one chat. I don't have to keep going back and forth to see what people are saying. What is interesting, though, is there seems to be a different delay on the two. Twitch seems to only have a 2 to 3 second delay from when I say something to, or when I show something and it shows up. But YouTube seems to have about 8 or 9 second delay. So So now this one here, 315. I would have been in the bands. I would not have gotten in that trade. What's interesting, I'm noticing more and more, and I really gotta find time to test this. These calls are a little late compared to the 2 minute. I think I mentioned this prior, and this trade probably would have worked on the 2 minute. Well, definitely would have worked because that was big. This one would have worked. I mean, it worked anyway. This one would have worked instead of taking this loss. This one would have worked instead of not getting in at all. Then we have this one at 335, which misses this big bar down. We'll see if that would have worked based on the 5 minute. I like using the 5-2, but sometimes it seems like it gets me into trades later than I want it to. Let's see if this still would have worked. We have 420.05. Yes, whoops, that's because I did it the wrong way. Boop. Short position. 420.05. 20 by 15. Yep. See that one? Let's see. Let's follow it along its journey. There. Okay, that one still ended up working, but it would have worked a lot better from this signal versus this signal. That would have been almost a 2-hour trade as well. Clone this one because we would have got back in there. And would have worked. We went to profit target there. So if I had stayed up all night and traded copper all night since open, 1, 2, one loss that I probably honestly wouldn't have taken, but we'll count it just to keep things perspective. 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8 wins, 1 loss. I need to trade copper more. Good morning to everybody joining. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. Ask any questions, statements, comments. We seem to be slightly slower than the past few days. I don't think we have many news catalysts or anything this morning. No major announcements coming out. So we'll see. I also started actually looking at, of all things, soybean oil last night. It seems to also give some. It's kind of smooth. You see how the SMA, I mean, gives good. I mean, there's a few choppy spots, but there's some very possibly good entries. So start messing around with that for no good reason. But I mean, if you look at here, this is just two smooth trades, one down, one up. I mean, it got a little choppy up here, but it's still, this is basically an uptrend. And I finally made this the agricultural products the right colors. Corn choppy. Oh, Yellen's talking. And wait a minute, how many J's do we get in this chat? Yeah, that'd be good. Good idea. Is Yellen talking right now, or is Yellen talking later? Yeah. Let's see, Janet Yellen. Why is she yelling? Oh, let's see. uh, I'll definitely try and keep it straight, although it's still pretty early in the morning. So asking this of me is like kind of cruel. Seems like we're going into a bit of a sideways motion. The Borg got the indices pulling back a bit from their highs. Boy, it's kind of a boring morning so far. Oh, by the way, I'm glad to see everybody that survived the big Facebook outage yesterday. I didn't know if we're. I'm glad they got it back on. I didn't know if we're going to start seeing panic in the streets as people had to go home from work and talk to people, talk to their actually talk to their families. Luckily, it came on just about that time, and we probably prevented a national nightmare. Well, I guess we could sit here and chart out. Oh wait, what looks like gold's trying to push down. I could chart out this last one here. This is that one I didn't react to. Let's see here. 635, 1756.8. Excuse me. 12. That would have been a winner. Had a great winner on gold yesterday, and then realized I was on the sim account. That was frustrating. Trillions lost in social currency. Bunch of popping. Okay, we definitely have some pullbacks here. The S&P hit a high of 43.14 and we're down to 43.09. So we have a 5-point pullback on the ES. Same exact move basically on the NQ where we've seen a pullback of about 18 points. So I might be seeing downward. Crude has double top now at its high. Oh, okay, I can see. See what that line didn't seem to really matter, but see, I mean, zoom in here. This hit 78.59. This hit 78.61. 78.61. Tried twice at that 78.61 level and has not gotten above it. So that's the level to watch. If it can break above that and show some strength, I mean, we're on a buy anyway, so, I'm not sure what does the 2-minute chart look like. We're on a buy on the 2-minute chart as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. If it can break above this level, which it's, I mean, kind of come up 2-3 times now and fallen back, then we might grab a long on that. Yeah, if I had money in the stock market, I would short Facebook right now because I think they're going to be going through a world of hurt until they start figuring things out. They've too much going on right now, and they've probably lost a lot of confidence yesterday with that huge crash. And of course, there's going to be speculation that that crash wasn't just a misconfiguration of something, but as some sort of hack after the whole whistleblower stuff that came out the night before. Oops. Okay, we're at the 8 o'clock hour. The crude pit. No, it's an hour. Never mind. I get the 8 o'clocks mixed up. It's 8 o'clock my time, not anyway. So anyway, see if there's anything popping at the top of the hour. Oh, nothing really popping. Interesting. Russell's not really pulling back much. The market does tend to repeat itself. And that's a good trend to notice. I shouldn't say trend, but not trend as in trending mark. But you know what I'm mean. Pattern. That pattern. There we go. That's the word. Definitely seems to overall be a little bit more slow this morning, though. Which is, of course, what would happen on the day that I get both YouTube and Facebook going. Yeah, Facebook. Oops. YouTube and Twitch going. Hello, ELT. Thank you for joining me. What are you expecting at the open, ELT? Up or down? Gold came back and kind of did this curl off of the both the SMA and the EMA. Okay. Quickly catching up on Discord to make sure that I'm not missing anything there. Well, I'm obviously not missing anything here. Okay. I need more screens. There we go. Okay. See, crude now has tried 4 different times. Oh, there we go. It's a solid break above that. Well, I shouldn't say solid. It's 2 points. Upon further review, it wasn't really a solid break. It's kind of bouncing back down. So we'll keep an eye on that. Since there's really nothing much else going on, let's check and see what the bonds are doing. Bonds, so buy signal on the bonds. Not above the SMA line. So watch that. If it gets above the SMA line, I will take a trade in it on my sim account. I think I still have, yeah, there's our UB chart on Ninja Trader on sim. I haven't started charting platinum yet. I look at it, but I haven't started charting it. I've officially dropped the Dow. I've stopped even updating the spreadsheet for it. I just need to replace it. Yes. Yeah, I almost never play the open. Almost never. I wait for it to kind of shake out. Everything's kind of curling down among the indices right now. So far, this all seems to be working very smooth with the streaming to both. Very, very sideways action on Kappa. Okay, gold, 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 gold. Let's see here. Gold's kind of double topping as well here, or having trouble getting above this area. Hit a high of 58.9. Currently sitting at 58.4. It tried again here, got up to 58.5 and 58.7. Nice little V pattern, but let's see whether it breaks there. As you can see, once again, crude rejected off the same level. It pushed its high up by a couple points and a couple ticks, I'm sorry. Excuse me. And then pulled back again. No oomph yet this morning from just about anything. My Bollinger Band are, it's a 20 period SMA, and then most of my charts I have a 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation. I don't really pay much attention to the 2 standard deviations. It's the 3 standard deviation is the one I pay the most attention to. You're welcome. Thank you for actually asking a question and not making me continue to talk to myself. Well, I mean, I've been talking to ELT and the J's, J squared, but I like questions. I like being able to interact, not just do play-by-play of whether it can break, whether things can break new highs. Which, folks, riveting action here as gold approaches its new high and it breaks it. There we go, but it pulls back. Ooh. Well, I have Nightbot on Twitch. I haven't figured out how to add Nightbot to YouTube. It says you're supposed to be able to do it, but I don't know if you can only do one on Nightbot or not. The Nightbot on Twitch, I have repeating a couple of things. I didn't really have time to really configure more stuff on YouTube. Took me like 3 hours the other day to get that banner up on YouTube to make it look somewhat decent. It's hard to make a YouTube banner. There's size specifications. Copper. What's copper? Okay, copper showing a little life here. That's pretty. That's a. Whoa! Something woke up copper. That's a 20 tick candle. We're above the SMA on the 5 minute. Although we're heading up into downward trending bands, but there's room between the bands and the candle for now, the price action. So we'll see whether or not we get a buy here on the 5 minute. Okay. There we go. So, now, you know, that looks weird when it's all blowing up like that. We did break the third band here, so this pullback here on the 2 minute chart was kind of predictable, and I could have gotten in here. I don't know if it's sustained, if it's going to be a sustained pullback or what, or if it's just going to be a small pullback before going higher. But right now, this is a 7 tick pullback. Could have done a little scalp here for a few ticks. Not really my style of trading, but it should be more. I would love to figure out how to automatically enter trades if it breaks the third band by a certain level. Up, gold. We weren't paying attention. We got distracted by copper. Copper's such a distraction, and it finally broke this its earlier high. I shouldn't say earlier high. It's been higher today, but this resistance point, and it broke it pretty well. Went up 12 points above. But crude is still having issues with its resistance. Its high of the day, which technically I should move up to the actual high of the day now. Looking for something to trade because honestly I'm bored. What are the bonds doing? Oh, bonds are above the SMA line. So we are going to enter this trade on Sim. This is the candle I would get in on. I would not have gotten in on the candle below because it barely broke it. But this is the candle I would enter once it completes. Not even sure if I have the right. Yeah, I do. 5 by 8. Buy market. Yes. So we'll watch that. Give us something to watch for now. This is on the sim account. I don't trade the bonds yet on the gauntlet because of its $31 tick size. Because we used a market order to get in, we started as at 1 tick down. See, I got the band set up on NinjaTrader here as well, and the SMA. I mean, sorry, EMA. So we're on. We have at least one thing going. It's not moving quickly, obviously. So we'll keep an eye on that while we continue to look at other stuff. Is there an always on top option? Yes. See if that works. It does. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so we're gonna put this down. No, down here, so we can continue to watch it while we look at other stuff. That's awesome. We learn together here at Ox Market Trading. So it looks like the indices are kind of going mostly sideways, but trying to bounce off the SMA band, our SMA line. Same with the Russell. One tick in profit now on the UB. Pardon me while I get some caffeine. Okay, let's see. So our bond trade is pulled back by 3 ticks. So this was, if you look at here, this would have been a good play on copper off the bands. This big band break, pull back 8 ticks on this candle, 9 ticks on this candle, and then bounced off the SMA. So from here, it opened at 65 and it went all the way down to 65. This would have been, assuming no slippage, a 20 tick winner, which is what I set my profit targets at. Gold's gotten above that line now. It's now acting as a support as it struggles to stay above. So it's, it's making higher highs here, but not by much. See whether or not it continues its strength. It's at the 200 EMA line right here. It's kind of bouncing off that on the 5 minute. See it here. I haven't changed the color on this. Maybe I should. There we go. Yep, perfect bounce off that EMA line. 3 times. Huh. So kind of bouncing between. I don't know. I've had the lines drawn on two separate charts, which wasn't the very smartest thing of me, but it's kind of bouncing between that support resistance line we were looking at earlier and this EMA line. Just like you can see, crude here is kind of bouncing between the SMA line and its high of the day resistance. We're still down 3 ticks on this bond trade. 5-tick stop loss. Coming up on 8:30 Eastern. A little more than an hour away from the New York Open. That's interesting. I didn't notice that, but I entered on this candle, and well, yeah, it did go above our EMA. It also broke the band. So this slight pullback, and hopefully it's only slight, was predictable based on the band break. Now we need to see whether or not how far this pullback is going to be. If it holds the EMA and just needed some time to breathe, or if it's going to continue going downward, stop us out. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Appreciate you tuning in to watch me not take many trades. Hopefully there'll be more action later. Please feel free to ask any questions or make any statements, comments, questions, insults. If you're on YouTube, please remember to subscribe. Of course, you can always hit that bell for notifications for when I go live. If you're on Twitch and haven't followed, give a follow. Get that get those algorithms flowing. So we try to start a futures revolution here. Start getting futures some of the attention it deserves. Because I do believe futures is easier. I don't know if easier is the right word. I like futures better than stocks because it's easier to go short. You know, with stocks, you're trying to find the hot company that day. You have thousands, literally thousands to choose from. Whereas, you know, futures, you have a few dozen basically. And, you know, you can go long, you can go short. You get easily. It's just, and there's up and down price action on everything just about every day. It may not be very volatile. You may not have huge moves, but you get good moves each day on just about every asset. Well, unless it's something like lumber or something really boring that doesn't have much of a. But I'm talking about the main ones, of course. Okay, our stop just got filled on the bond trade. Excuse me. So this band break caused, not didn't cause, but indicated that this pullback, and the pullback ended up being pretty strong. So we took that loss on the sim. This is why I don't trade it on the regular account. Let's see. There. So we were at $150 negative from the that mini copper I was trying, so that was about a $156 loss there. No biggie, since it's on the sim. Strong pullback here, and it is below now the EMA line, so this could be another indication to get in short, but I want to see it break this SMA before I would do that. So keep an eye on that while we look at the actual stuff we're trading, which really isn't doing anything. Copper, you can see after this pullback, and we still haven't gotten a buy signal on the 5 minute, but after this pullback on the 2 minute, it bopped off the SMA line, and I mean it's trending back upwards. Looks like about 18, 17 ticks, 17 or so. I guess we can take this off of always on top. There we go. Up. Gold finally found its oomph, and it's heading upwards. So if we look at the 2 minute chart, I guess we can get rid of this little line here. Came up, topped out here, came back down, bounced off both of these lines, and then has just slowly gone up since. Well, I shouldn't even, I mean, it's given us a lot of green upwards since. Good place to get in back in this trade. You know, once you, if you got out of it here, would have been, you know, off a bounce, and I would have waited 1 or 2 candles. Could have also went to the 1 minute chart. This is the 1 minute, and see the 1 minute gave us a sell signal here, and then re-gave us a buy signal here. And let's see if that would have, that probably would have worked. I don't be assured it would have worked, but there. And we went quickly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes would have got us our profit target. Now you notice on the 1 minute here, we're breaking bands. So here's 2 times and three, and it did do slight pullbacks each time. You know, it hit a 58.5 and pulled back to, pulled back 80. I mean, 8 ticks, about 4 or 6 ticks here. So it works the same, but as you go down to smaller time frames, you get smaller pullbacks if it breaks the band usually. So it's not as good of an indicator on a lower time frame. You usually get, it's more of a scalp than a big play. Trying to see if there's any others. Although, I mean, this one would have worked. No, well, I see. I mean, that's only a 6 tick candle. So I don't like to use the 1 minute chart too often because there's just a lot of noise on it. But gold. What was that last? Oh, bonds. So bonds did bounce so far off this SMA line. And if we'd gotten into, could have gotten into this trade, and instead of having a fixed stop loss on it, we could have just used the SMA as the stop. That would have been a wider stop. I believe that would have been at. See, we got in on this candle. So we got in at 92.21. Yeah, I don't like. I wouldn't have liked that. I would have 9 tick stop loss on the bonds. It's like $280. But that was almost a perfect bounce at this point. Now if it goes back above the ZMA line, oh, never mind. There's a pop down. But again, we need to see it break that SMA line. But I was gonna say because it was showing a little bit of heading north there. If it had gotten back above the EMA line, would we have gotten back in? Probably not. Probably not until it broke these highs. This high did it just. Not sure what I just did there. This high. Okay, big move down for the bond. Has broken through that SMA, but pulled back. So we'll keep. Let's check back in 2 minutes to see where it's at. See this copper is just trying to grind up very slowly. Huh? Gold found the top again. Doji candle indicating reversal, and it reversed. Crude though is back trying to break its daily high. Let's see here. Let's find their bond chart again. There it is. And there we go. Mark it into short. This time the market order kind of gave us a little boost there. Give us a 1 tick head start. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah. I need someone to send caffeine. Lots of it. Oh wow. Bonds is not gonna. I'm glad I don't play the bond. It just doesn't like us this morning. Put this back to always on top. Put it back down here in the corner. If we look, the S&P is giving us a sell signal here. It's grinded down just slowly enough to get to the level of the sell. It'll be interesting. I mean, it went away again, but there really isn't much conviction to this downward move. So I would be hesitant to enter short here anyway, even if it does give me a signal. Copper with a buy signal. Just grind upwards. Oh, interesting. I'm not. I'm that I know nothing about that, Jay. Give it a test. CQG is a better data feed than Rhythmic. That's for sure. There's that buy signal again. We have a minute on this candle. Our nice clean copper chart. Starting to get rid of those grids that are behind the charts on normally on NinjaTrader. I think it looks better without them. Can see things easier. Got 33 seconds. I like that the bid-ask spread's only 5 apart, or 1 tick apart, 1 to 2 ticks. We are on the gauntlet account for this copper trade. And we are in. I did change one thing on copper. I need to change it on all the rest. Instead of showing ticks, it's showing the actual uh, amount we're up or down. Right now we're down $25. We are up 2 ticks on our bond trade on the sim account. So, okay. So we're already up. We were up 4 ticks. Now we're up 1 tick. So let me see if we can. Watch this play out. I'm much more interested in this one than I am in this one. So currently at, ooh, yeah, big move up. We are at 6 ticks, $75. Our goal is 20 ticks. Our stop loss is 15 ticks from our entry point. It's breathing some, it's still looking good. 4 ticks. There's always so much, oh, there we go. There, it's moving nicely. My stop loss is up to break even as it hit 10 ticks. When it stalls there, like it did right before that move upwards, you always, there's always that, there's always that thought, oh, it's gonna stop, this is where it's gonna top out. Maybe I should, get out here for profit. But that's just how the trades work. Nothing ever, I shouldn't say nothing ever. Most of the time you grind upwards, you don't reach it there and, you know, straight up. You just gotta let the trades play out. Right now we're up 10 ticks. 9. And my stop loss has moved up to break even. See if it continues its move upwards. Let's check trading view. One thing I don't like about NinjaTrader, you can see the bands and the EMA or the SMA lines, whatever, all the lines, they don't extend to the current candle. So it's hard to gauge if you're breaking the band or not. I don't like that at all. So you got to look at trading view. See, and here it looks like it's breaking the band because it's actually not. It's just the squareness of the candle. The band here, you can actually see what the band's value is. It is 41938. Currently, we are at 41925, so it's near that third band. It's been kind of, you know, riding up this whole time. We are 3 ticks in the profit on the bond trade on Sim, and we have a little bit of a pullback here on copper, but we're still 9 ticks in the profit. Our stop loss has moved up to being 2 ticks above our entry price. So now even if this pulls all the way back, we still pull out 25 bucks. While that's a bummer, you still get something out of it. Hopefully it won't do that. Hopefully this is just taking a breath. You can see this whole trend. We've gone green. This has been an upward trend, but green, red, doji, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, 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 green. There we go. Move upwards. We are now 3 ticks from our profit target. Our were kind of pulled back a bit. Our stop losses moved up 6. There we go. Target filled. $250 profit. Let's go to the videotape. Our Gauntlet account today, we're now up $530. I keep saying we, and I do that every telecast. Just telecast? Now I'm calling it a telecast. It's a live stream. It's morning. Anyway, $530 today on the Gauntlet. It's a very good day. That trade lasted 6 minutes and 43 seconds for $250. This is why I love copper. Make it small again. Let's mark that trade off. We got in at 740. So here, there we go. That's a winner. Meanwhile, our bond trade, once again, is actually trending negative, but we'll see. Just kind of sideways right now. So on the Gauntlet account for the day that started at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, last night, 3 for 3 on trades. 2 copper, 1 micro NASDAQ. I didn't draw out resistance on this copper. It looks like it's actually coming up with the resistance not too far away. And yeah, the SMA, EMA line as well. So, be interesting to follow that. Kind of curling a bit on the indices. Gold did reject back down to the SMA line, now trying to bounce off of it. Crude broke its highs and is pushing upwards. We were concentrated on copper, so we missed that move. But it's showing strength. The oil pit opens 10 minutes. So where are we at now? We are quite high. Let's see, look at the daily chart. Oh wow, look at this, guys. I didn't realize this. Oil is higher now than it's been since way back in Nope, not even there. Hold on. Let's go. Daily chart. Whoa. Oil's hit highs it has not seen since November of 2014. 7 years. That's interesting. It's been a pretty good bull run here since late August. It's going up 61.74, 78.85, 17 points. Excuse me. Well, you can see our UB trade here. Oops. We're back to one tick in profit, but since our entry, which is right here, we've kind of this gone back and forth. It's bounced off the SMA, came up, bounced off, came back down, and it's just kind of going wishy-washy sideways. So we'll let that continue to play out. It's not wanting to do anything. Since it's on sim, if it still does that, we'll hold that through open just to see what happens. Looks like we got out of that copper trade at the right time. Went up a couple more ticks and pulled back. Although it did break the the EMA line, so could use that as a support now. So as we come up on the 9 o'clock hour here, 9 o'clock Eastern, I want to welcome anyone that's joining me to this morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat and ask any questions, make any statements, so on and so forth. So let's look for another good trade. I won't trade too close to the open though, so I'll have to find something witty to talk about. Our UB trades one tick negative. Hey, it's not deciding what it wants to do. Platinum dumped. This helps you see the UB trade. We got in here on this candle here, and it's just kind of gone sideways since. Oh, curling back down on copper. Yeah, that's sell in the 2 minute, but we go by the 5. I'll be really surprised if it came up and it came all the way back down like that. Um, Bought the data from where? I'm confused, Jay. Okay, TradingView doesn't integrate with NinjaTrader though. I'm just using both. I'm charting off of TradingView and then entering on NinjaTrader software. There's no integration between the two that I'm aware of. Unless you know something I don't, which is possible. Okay, cool. I got you. We're back to 0. Oh, now we're down 1 tick on the bonds. Okay, 9 o'clock. Let's see. We usually see some increased volatility at 9. You have your indices curling back up. Trying to break their daily high on the S&P. I never moved these on the NQ. Let's see, what was our high on the NQ overnight? Right there. About 150 point, 140 point range on the NQ so far. Gold, I missed the signal 10 minutes ago. Well, I mean, 8 minutes ago. I totally missed the signal. I must have been sleeping. Short. Ah. So we'll see if how this gold trade plays out. If I missed a good trade or if I would have, it was meant to be. You can see crude once again, crude's just grinding slowly upwards. Hit this high, now it failed to hit that high again, pull back. My guess would be a sell. But that said, from this buy signal all the way up to here, it's over a point. It's up $1,000, I think. Yeah. No. Each point's $10. Yeah, $1,000. Yep, there's the sell signal I just said was going to be coming. Copper. Copper bouncing off the SMA line on the 5 minute. Ooh, crude. Okay. Oh, look at our bond trade. We are up 3 ticks now. I think this is the most we've been, except for real quick push down at this entry. Looks like we might have some strength moving down. Finally. Yeah, we're up 5 ticks now here on this bond trade. We have an 8 tick profit target. Actually, we have an 8 tick profit target, but I think I have some trade management in there that once it hit 8 ticks, it starts to trail to try and get more of the move. Figure I'll try that out too since we're doing it on sim. So we'll see how that goes. Honestly, don't remember what it is. So we'll all be surprised together. Whoop, we just hit. Whoa, there we go. We're going, we're going, we're going. Stop is now moved up. We are 9 ticks in the profit on this UB trade now. Stop is moved 3 ticks behind. So right now we're guaranteed at least a 6 tick profit, which is about 180 bucks. Nope, look at this, it's still going. Now we're at 8. We're guaranteed at least 8 ticks. Now it's this trade. Okay, it was 10 ticks of profit. See how it's pulled back. We're 1 away from the stop now, which will give us 8 ticks of profit if it stops us out here. If it continues going, the stop will continue to move up. This is eventually what strategy I want to find a way to use on just about everything to try and get more of the move while still preserving the profit and not letting it pull back too much. It really, really works well when something quickly flushes down and you can get those extra few ticks. Still moving. Probably should keep an eye on whether or not anything else is moving. Ooh, whoa. Lots of alerts. Lots of alerts. Gold. Big dump on gold. That that was a bad missed trade. I mean, a trade that I missed that would have went to my 34 tick profit target. Uh, ES, we have a sell, but it's hitting the band. It's stretching them, so that's interesting to watch. We are 20 minutes away from the U.S. Open, so that's interesting as well. Oh wow, this bond trade is now in awesome territory. We're 12 ticks up total. Stop loss is now 9 ticks. So I mean, at this point, this is a guaranteed like $280 win if it continues going. Though we are getting in, it looks like we might be getting into band territory. Let's check our chart there. Let's check our chart there. See if I can. Oh, this is always on top. There we go. Getting close to band. Band stretching a little bit for it. This price action down. If this was in my gauntlet, I would be really a lot more excited right now. But I'm still excited. This trade has worked very well. See see how it made us wait for this move, and then finally gave us that downside move. Had to wait for about 25 minutes before the big move downward. Now we're 1 tick away from it closing out the trades. This pullback here. Both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 gave us sell signals. Honestly, normally I would jump on one of these, but being so close to the open, I'm a little wary. So we'll see. Okay, our stop just filled on the UB trade. It came back enough to capture our trailing stop. So now let's go take a look at the stats on that trade. UB, we entered here, 7:35, out at 8:11. This is my time, of course. So that's 25, 35, no, yeah, about 36 minutes we were in that trade, and we got 9 ticks. So 9 ticks. Take this off of always on top now. 9 times 31, 25. $281.25 in profit on that. As you can see, it's pretty much wiped out our deficit that was on that sim account from my test last night of the mini copper and our earlier loss on the bonds. And so if we had just done the 2 bond trades, 2 UB trades, even though we'll only be 50% winner, we would be up uh, minus 31.25 times 5. We'd be up $125, even though we've only won 50% of our trades. So we're having a very good day here between the sim account and the live account. See what else we can find. Though I'm not going to enter anything all until the probably maybe I'll enter on a sim. As you can see, we did hit the band here on this big sell candle on the S&P 500, and we have kind of reversed a little bit. It's trying to go back up. So that was not only was I not going to enter because of being close to the open, but I would have wanted to see this have some room to breathe. It looks like, I mean, it's still trying to push down, so this might still be a big good entry. And we could get in. Uh, this is where it bottomed out. So give it a couple ticks, and if it breaks that level there, a couple ticks below this line, has some room before the band. That could be a decent entry if you're looking to get back in or get in after giving it some time. Oops, hate it when I do that. I gotta make these streams a little bit more refined where you're not seeing me switch my windows. think I know how to do that, but I gotta test it this weekend. So gold has now gone below its lows of the day. So you can interesting. It's basically been in a downward trend since open. But we had these pullbacks. I mean, this is a huge pullback. But it really, I mean, it really was part of the downtrend. It tried to come up and just came right back down. So we're gold is definitely looking bearish. As we approach the open, I'll continue to be switching between charts to look to see if there's anything exciting. I'm going to mute for a couple minutes as I eat some breakfast. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. For those of you that know my motto of never doubt copper, I shouldn't have doubted copper. This again would have been another winner. I said I wanted to see it break that SMA line, and I mean, obviously it did, but you know, it did hard and then kind of reversed, but it did it enough to get that 20 tick winner, which means copper's only giving me one loss all trading day, I believe. I think we're at like 8 or 9 to 1. That immediately curled back up, so we had to get out, right at that 20 tick mark, but never doubt copper. Kind of interesting to see what copper's acting this morning. We see this, up and down and now back up in a very short amount of time. Copper's more usually like this. I mean, I guess it did it here a little bit too, but this is more of a just continuing down. You see these more long down moves, long up moves. So I mean, this is an interesting, and I mean, I hear, we got it and it was a failure, a failure. So whereas here we're getting it and this is a win. This would have been a win. Now, it's starting to trend back up to where we might get a buy signal. So this is interesting. Uh, we're 8 minutes to the open. I'm gonna finish my eggs. Okay, thank you for joining Breakfast with Ox. Breakfast is now done. As we are 7 minutes from the bell, or the open. I guess the bell's a New York Stock Exchange thing. I don't know if they ring a bell at the Mercantile Exchange or not. How's everyone doing this morning? Has anyone taken trades, either sim or live or paper trading, whatever? Ah, bunch of viewers here. Remember, guys, good morning, and feel free to ask any questions in chat or make any statements. Say hi. Let me know you're alive out there. First day of streaming between both YouTube and Twitch. Looks like I got 9 viewers on Twitch, 3 on YouTube. Remember, hit the like button and subscribe on YouTube. Yeah, it takes a while. I still haven't figured out a lot of NinjaTrader, Jay. Just because, I mean, like I said, I do my charting. You see me do all my charting on TradingView, and I just use um, Ninja to enter my orders and handle my trade management. But I definitely do like the trade management on NinjaTrader, telling it about how to trail your stops and all that. Gold continues to push down further. As you see, copper, give us our sell signal here. We would have got enough off of this candle, this little bit of a wick, to get that $250 win. Now it's bouncing back off the SMA. So we can look and we can draw a line. Excuse me, sorry. Right there or so. And let's move it a tick or two down. And if it comes back down and breaks that area, although we do need to watch because this is our low of the day, so we're close there as well. But this could be another area to re-enter. So we are literally seconds, 45 seconds from the New York Open. Let's switch over to the S&P and the NASDAQ, and we'll watch what it does here. See how the market shakes out here at the Open. 15 seconds. Okay, we have opened. NQ showing some strength off the line. 13, 20, whoa, big moves up. Big moves up. We have this, it went up to at least 20 points, pulling back. See if it continues its momentum or if this was a quick move off the open and then pulls back. Oh, now we're up 26 points. Big pullback. This is why the open is so hard to play. You can see we went up 20 points, back but down by 10. Then we went up to like 25 points, back down to 18. Now back up to almost 30 points and back down to 18. This is the first couple minutes of the open is just so hard to play. You can see the S&P's going red big time. It's, well, I shouldn't say big time, but compared to where, it bounced off the SMA, where the NASDAQ is now up 40 points and is testing its high of the day and it blew through. 50-point move here, that's $1,000 in minute and a half and more, 53 points. Pulling back, it's well above the Bollinger Band. There's probably a good chance of a scalp entry here. Matter of fact, let's do that. We're above the Bollinger Band. Let's go to the sim. It's not actually, yeah, there we go. Let's watch what this does. Ready to sell the market. It's now at 56 points. We're gonna get in there. Let's see. Let's try and call this on the sim count. Big pullback. Big pullback. 8, 9. 9 points. Trailing stop. I'm gonna move that trailing stop. I didn't set up the right trade management for this. Actually, since we're just doing this sim, I'm going to take out that trailing stop, manage this manually. Let's watch what this does. Big pullback here. 13 points, 15 points. I mean, I shouldn't say 15 points. It's where, yeah, since we got into this trade, we were 15 points in the profit. Now it's trying to pull back up. See where it shakes out here. Oh yeah, now we're 20 ticks in the 20 points in the profit. That'll be $400. Now we're, look at that. Look how far this is pulled all the way back. You can see the big red candle here in the 2-minute over here on to the right. 25 points, 29 points in the profit right here. It's about where it's topping down though, so we'll see. Okay, we're going to close the trade there. Seems like that's about the sweet spot. Although now it's pulling back some more, but that's one way to play the open is you wait for a huge break of that Bollinger Band and then go for the the opposite way. Let's look at the stats on that trade. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's see. We're now $275 in profit on that sim account, which at one point was sitting $300 negative. We got in on that NQ trade. Let me blow this up. Oh, that pulled back even more now. We got in at 832.08 and out at 833.56. So that's 48 seconds, 1 minute and 48 seconds, I believe. And we made about $300. So between the two accounts, the sim and the gauntlet, we're up over $800. And one of those down trades, that $150, was just me testing out if the mini copper, which gets like 2 trades every 10 minutes, would have been a viable thing. So with that, we will be up close to $1,000 between the two accounts today. Now see, we actually did get out at a good time. Seems like the best way to get out of one of those trades is to get out right at the close if you're going to do this reversal. But what's interesting is, we would follow the bot. This bot sent a buy signal here, and it wasn't wrong. This is now a 40-point candle, $800. So, we could have done that reversal trade and then gotten in here. It would have been risky because it's still the open. It's still kind of going wild. But after 5 minutes, it's not as wild. It oftentimes picks a direction. You can actually see it's kind of interesting. Oops, wrong chart. Here's the 2 minute chart. And again, it just pretty much bounced off the EMA and SMA. It's pulling back again now, some. But actually, the way as far as it broke the band, we could have done that same type of trade. It got up to 73 and it's pulled back to 35. This would have been a beautiful reversal trade as well. S&P just lost its mind. 11 points on this 2 minute candle. 13 points. Big time reversal. Let's go check, see what the other things are doing. Copper. Copper, it broke that line where I said we could have got back in. I wasn't paying attention. That would have been another winning trade right there. I won't mark it off because it didn't actually give me a signal. See if it would have gave me a signal in the 1 minute. No, it would have gave me a signal on this candle, so I won't do it because I followed the 2 minutes into the bands. 1 minute's not, but we also just broke that low of the day, so we'll have to see whether it hangs there or continues down. Gold bounced and is showing strength on the open. Crude's just kind of meh, just kind of going sideways. Bonds also kind of going sideways. Platinum, that's a 15-minute chart. It's hard to read. Oh, 5 minutes down here. Duh. So 2 5-minute charts. Good job. That Platinum made some nice moves. Look at this. Down. Nice. This nice up move. This nice down move. I like Platinum. I need to start trading this more. I need to find a good stop loss and profit target on it. So copper is kind of struggling here at this previous low. We'll keep that marked off because until it shows it can get below there. The Russell also did a big move down, but you can see that it actually, the bot called the Russell's move back at 805. So that's pretty kind of impressive. The agriculture, soybean went wild also at the open. But not really that wild. Well, wait, hold on. Not really that wild. Only 22 ticks. That's actually only like 120 bucks. I've seen a lot wilder. Corn, downward band break and bounce. Do I use the Super Dom? Rarely. I mean, I look at it occasionally. I might even have it. No, I don't. Yeah, I do have one up. Here it is. This is on. Uh, this is Copper's Dom. I look at it occasionally. I try to see how many orders might be sitting here, but I haven't gotten good enough with the Dom to really play the price action on them like some people do. The Canadian futures trader, he basically he plays totally price action. He doesn't look at charts at all. He just plays off the price action and the orders he sees in the DOM. And he's very successful at it. There's lots of people that don't ever look at charts, don't use any technical analysis. They just play the price action. But I don't use it often. Maybe once I have more screen space, I might try and start, or more time maybe, to be able to just observe the price action versus the charts and see how it moves compared to what I'm used to seeing on the charts. Then it might be something I use more often. Okay, we have what's going on. Okay, so this is a wild, actually a wild west open. Look at this. Actually, look at it's looks. This is the 2 minute chart. 8:30 to 8:32, 8:32 to 8:34, 8:34 to 8:36, 8:36 to 8:38, 8:38 to 8:40, and now 8:40 to 8:42. But it's interesting because we have these band bounces, and it really did respect these bands. Up here broke. This was its down move. Pulled back up, hit the band, pulled back down. We could have played these band bounces twice. And now it's kind of respected the EMA and SMA. I mean, it wicked down below, but it came right back up. I mean, it looks more wild on the 5 minute chart. Look at those wicks. I mean, this body is only 5 points. This is a 5 point body, but this thing moved from it hit a high of 573 and a low of 497. So it moved like 75 points, even though the body is only a 5 point body. And the S&P basically did the same thing. So gold is approaching the SMA. Crude, crude couldn't care less what's going on. Oh, now there's a nice move in soybeans. You know, the problem with trading the ag, I used to like trading soybean oil when I was on Top Step, but agriculture products take a break between 7:45 and 8:30 Central Time, and on Top Step you could hold through that time, but on Earn the Trade you can't. You need to exit by 7:40, and then you can get back in at 8:30. So it makes it harder to play this open because you can't set an order. On Top Step, you can actually set an order if you thought it was going to go up at the open. You could actually set it during the break, and then it would fill once it came back. So that's one disadvantage of Earn the Trade, but not that big of a deal since agriculture is really not that exciting, and there's enough other stuff to trade. So we had this band break on the 2 minute on copper, and it's now stair stepped back up since. Would have been another good entry off the band break. And I point these out because I'm trying to point out things that places you people can enter without necessarily having a bot tell them where. Because I mean the bot is an expense. It's like I think $40 a month, 40 or 45. I like it. Like I said, it's a crutch, but I understand that people want to try to do this as cheaply as possible. Okay, bunch of signals here. It's funny because the bot sent this buy signal in this candle, but it was right. It's definitely right, but and he would have got it off of this big move up, but definitely couldn't have followed through this big pullback. Now the S&P is also blowing up. That's by, it's up 7 points on this candle. So it looks like, I mean, a quick picture, tech would would tend to believe that we are in a bullish momentum. You had this huge big pullback on this one candle, but upwards here. Again, we had a band break though in the Nasdaq. We could have played all three of these. Again, I hit the wrong chart. We could have played all three of these. We could have just rested in order. Like, I mean, this one hit a high of 63, so we could have rested in order like 50 or 55, and for the short, and we would have got big wins on each of these. These three candles. This one not as much. Hasn't pulled back as much, but did pull back. This would have been three good wins just resting in order there. But it seems like NASDAQ, if I was a betting man, that this is going to start trending upwards. Let's go back to that super dom you mentioned there, Jay, and see how wild it is to follow it on the NQ. This is the NQ. Look at that thing moving. I don't know how anybody follows that. That is insane. It's like, it's just, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know how anyone follows that. It is moving so fast. And compared to that, the candle movement, I mean, here's the candle. The 2 minute and the 5 minute. Compared to that, the candles looks calm. So that's why, I mean, I think the Dom can be useful on calmer products, but, or calmer times of the day. But at the open, now I see a big move up here again on the Nasdaq. We also got a signal on HG. Oh, looks like copper's trying to move up again. Keep an eye on that. Nasdaq. We have this buy on the S&P. I should have grabbed that. I think this is going to end up being good. Yeah, it's testing its high of the day. Nasdaq is totally blown through its high of the day. Still playing with the bands though. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. Yep, look at that pull back off the band again. So we have some momentum now on the Nasdaq. We're not going to get another buy signal, obviously, but let's go into the sim. Yeah, let's see where we are in the bands here. Let's give it some breathing room. This closes in, well, maybe it doesn't want breathing room. I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to continue to ride up the bands like this or not. Let's try to play it. It's sim, so who cares? Buy market one. Move the stop loss. I do not recommend anybody play the Nasdaq if they're going to do a gauntlet. The mini maybe, but I don't recommend anyone play the actual NQ on a gauntlet. At least it's definitely not at the open or near the open because it's just rough. So, but we're just doing it for some entertainment value. I haven't checked on the bonds lately, so we'll do that here after we see what happens with our NQ trade. Actually, we'll just kind of watch the NQ here on the side. Let's check our bonds. Bonds still going down, slight downward trend. This is where our trade was earlier. It went up, and then it hasn't actually reached the low where we got out at, so that's interesting. Kappa, reversal candle there on the 2-minute, and it came back down. So our NQ trade's now flirting with profit. I'm gonna regret not just YOLOing and taking all these trades in my gauntlet account. That's what I want. So we were in the profit on this trade, and now it's pulled back again. But this is what the NQ does. If you traded NQ and you hung on every tick on every trade, yeah, you would definitely need sedatives. You might need a trip to a nice asylum for a while because you would drive yourself crazy. So here we go. New candle is opened. Take this off screen for just a sec while we check our alerts. Not sure what that alert was. Oh, gold hit the SMA and then boom, down, created a new daily low. And we missed the sell signal on that 2-minute chart. I need more screens. So let's plot that one out too. 34 by 25 on that. Again, it was flirting with that third band, so maybe it was good that we didn't get in that trade. See what it does. But oh, look at our Nasdaq trade. Our Nasdaq trade is now 7 points in the profit, 8 points, 9 points. Moving the trailing stop. Oh, never mind. It hit my trailing stop. I forgot to. I should have just did this without a stop because it's on sim. So that ended up being a successful trade. And we're now up $320 in the sim account. Technically, on the NQ at this time of day, instead of running 1510, I would be running 3020. I just forgot to change it over. So we got stopped out on our trailing stop early. That trade only got us, ended up only getting us, really? Buy, sell, yeah, only got us a point and 1.75 points. So it was up as much as 8 points but it's pulling back now, so we got something out of it. We were in that trade for just slightly less than 4 minutes, and we got like $40 out of it. So now between the two accounts, $850 on the day. Uh, the only trade we've lost besides that test one that I did on the mini copper was that one bond trade, and that was even taking two trades on the Nasdaq without bot assistance. So gold did bounce off the band on this trade. Be interesting to see whether or not it's just giving it room to breathe, or if that was going to be. I would tend to think it's just going to go back to the SMA line, but if it goes to the SMA line on the 5-minute chart, that'd be enough to stop us out. Copper's doing a little bit of a sideways action now, playing with its SMA on the 2. Technically, it's playing with the SMA on the 5. It's interesting how these price actions work. I guess we can get rid of this white line. You know, it's slightly below the SMA line on the 5-minute and slightly above it on the 2-minute. So it definitely has some action this morning. And I like that I'm using the sim account now to show more trades. I think that's hopefully helping. You know, viewers are staying interested. I wish you all would talk more. Tell me what you like and what you don't like, and any questions you might have or whatever. I mean, Jay's the only one talking, and he's doing it on two different platforms. He's talking to himself almost. But we'll build this up. This will become more exciting once I'm funded and people are thinking are watching me actually risk real profits. Oh, okay. Nasdaq had a huge pullback here. Are we on the 5 or the 2? We're on the 5. This huge pullback. Again, basically a band bounce, although it did go up a little bit first. Now it's just hugging that previous high, but we'll move that up now to this high. You know, we've got a pretty big range now for today on the Nasdaq. It's ranged almost 200 points. So from this low to this high, we're looking at almost $4,000 per contract. Nasdaq still trying to push up. So if you just blindly follow the bot, which you should never do, if you use this bot, and got in here and just stuck through this downtrend, you would be up 70 points. No, 29, to 100. 71, yeah, about 70 points. It's $1,400. But that would have been a wild ride to have to go through. You almost would have had to just shut your eyes and not look at it, because that would have drove me crazy watching these pullbacks. Nasdaq still pushing up. Looks like it's. I bet you this is going to grind up most of the day. S&P is doing the same thing. S&P, we see, since it's buy, it's been more. He had to pull back on this candle, which equals this candle here, but it's been a bit smoother. Russell has kind of been doing the same thing, but not going to its extremes of hitting Bollinger Bands. Did set a new daily high for the day, I should say. This candle here in the 2 minute is a good reversal example of a reversal candle. Wick longer, down wick longer than the body. Plus you have to have both bands sitting there as well that it bounced off of, and then beautiful 6.5 point move upwards. So crude did finally make a move up. I missed that signal, but the signal so far would have been a dud anyway. But it moved up. Better signal again. Well, maybe it wouldn't have. I'm sorry, it would not have been a dud. I missed this signal here, which would have gave me a 17 point upwards. Probably would have been a good trade. I miss. Hello, Jaden. Welcome. Yeah, I keep an eye on the equities. Equities and metals are my two favorite things. Metals being first. But here's the S&P, and I definitely keep an eye on that. Nasdaq just moves so fast, but kind of moves in tandem. I do watch the Dow, but I don't chart it anymore because I'm not going to trade the Dow. Dow's been making the same moves basically. See how much these moves upward go. See if this is an all day. I mean, obviously not going to stay here all day on stream, but uh, definitely tends to be showing bullish momentum. Copper's gone sideways on us. Crude pulling back to the SMA. Oh, we're still bleeding out on this. So look at this. This is this is a bummer. Now, luckily we didn't get in this trade, but this trade pulled back enough to stop us. No, it didn't. Let's see. It's actually no, it did not. Let's see. I was wrong. I read that wrong. This trade did not stop us out. So this would have been a good. This was going the right way. What was that $7 on, Jay? I mean, I am kind of proud of the day so far. Part of me says I don't want to even take another trade on the Gauntlet account, but I mean, it's kind of weird to say that because I mean, it's not like my skills are gonna be any different tomorrow, where I could take a losing trade and give part of this back, and I mean, yep, there we go. That trade would have been a winner. Would have scared us as it pulled back to within 3 ticks of my stop loss, but did not get there. And that's why you need to give trades room to breathe. Because sometimes they just need that room to breathe. The indexes or equities are still pushing up since the open. Since the open, we've seen a 21-point move upwards on the S&P 500. That's about $1,150. And since the open on the Nasdaq, we've seen almost 100 points. What you know, these trending moves are awesome, but it's hard to know where to get back in if you're not in, and where it's going to top out. This could go another 20 points that way, or whatnot. We don't really, I mean, have any resistance points now until, let's see, this was yesterday, so that does provide a resistance point. Oops. Let's put chart this right there. So we're, right now, the price is at 29. So that has some room to roam up to there. We could say this is another resistance area because it did come down and then try to push back up and again failed. And that's about 7 points away. So those are our next two major resistance areas based on price action from yesterday. Does that look like they? No, that wasn't yesterday's highs. That was yesterday's highs there, but this was the highs before it just broke down yesterday. So those are the next resistance areas. And it's quickly moving up toward that. Wow, that's still a strong move. 4 points on this candle. Basically, we've had 7 points, 4 points, 4 points Strong move upwards. Okay, gold again a new low. So gold has really bottomed out today. We now have a 28, 28 point range. Oh, actually, it's a higher range. It actually opened higher. Sorry, there's the actual high. So about a 23 point range on gold. So from here to there, 2,300 bucks. But this current, if you look, this current low of the day now is basically at the same low of yesterday, within a few ticks. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that little bit of an interruption. Uh, so we're basically at our lows of the day from yesterday by a few ticks. SPY tops out at 434. It's looking like it right now. Both Nasdaq and the S&P have kind of stalled. Jadon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. Um, what are you basing that prediction off of? Just because, are you using an indicator or something to base that, or price action, or DOM, or anything to you for that prediction? We are seeing this pullback. It did top out at 43.35 and a half. We'll move our yellow line up there. to indicate that's our high of the day. See if it moves above there. And we'll move NASDAQs as well. Let's see if the Russell also has one. Yeah, oh, Russell's showing strength, still showing strength, no pullback. The Dow's not pulling back as well. Oh, there's copper. Let's see if it's actually, oh, we got a buy signal on copper. I got 2 minutes, 3.5 minutes here. This is a ranging market, it's sideways. So I gotta decide whether or not this has enough room to really roll. Our bands on this, 415, 418. So it has room to go up. We have this resistance point from earlier, but now we can move that resistance point down because this is the high of the last move. Now is at 419.75, 419.65. And we're at 418.25, so we have some room to let it get up there. We are above the SMA line, so we are going to take this trade if it stays through the close of the candle. Let's zoom out a little bit on that. There we go. Okay, oh, buy signal went away, so let's continue to watch it. It's pulling back. So, trying again. 49 seconds on this candle. So you can see, I zoom back out. We have plenty of room on this somewhere here. Zooming back out, really. Oh, yeah, I can just hit that arrow. Plenty of room before the Bollinger Band. I believe that's, I plotted a third band on here, not a second band, but still. Plenty of room before the bands. Oh, it's taking away that buy. I'm almost tempted. I mean, I'm going to follow my strategy. My strategy is to follow the bot. So we're not going to get in until the bot says so. But I would almost tend to believe that right here would be a good entry point. So we'll follow this. We'll come back to it. Move this off screen. See what the indices are doing. They're still trying. That candle actually did get up above. We were at 435.5. This candle moved the goalposts a little. Wrong chart again, Brian. There we go. This moved up to 436.5. So we moved up another point before pulling back. Basically at that resistance line I drew from yesterday. And it's trying to try again. Exciting, riveting drama here as we see whether or not the S&P 500 can get above this resistance point. It's looked strong so far today, but starting to look a little tired now. We saw him pull back just a bit. Now he's trying for a second attempt. What will happen here, folks? Yes. Yes, I do know I'm weird. As we approach 10:30, I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning, YouTube and Twitch. This whole YouTube and Twitch thing at the same time is going very smoothly. Wish I had figured out the software right from the start, but it's good. I want to thank, like I said, I do want to thank you for joining, and please, please, please feel free to say hello in the chat. Uh, any comments or suggestions or insults or questions are all welcome. Though if you're going to insult, yeah, please be on the nicer side about it. See that the S&P is trying to get above. It's basically, hitting its head on that. There we go. It's broken through. We're up to 43.3850. It's through that first resistance point I drew out from yesterday. If it holds it, its next major resistance point is 43.44, 75. So that would have been resting in an order a point or so above that resistance point. Could be a strategy for an entry. This is also there, these work better in stocks than in futures. It appears. I'm not going to say that for sure, but this is called a 3-bar play, and there's a lot of videos out there talk about how profitable 3-bar plays are. We have a big bar, a pullback, and then another big bar will indicate a bullish momentum, or if it's the other way, bearish momentum. If it's you have a red, a green, and a red. So this is actually what's called a 3-bar play, and could indicate bullish momentum on the upside here. It often does in with stocks. Okay, pull back. Establish this new high here. Then pull back is going to try again, it looks like. We got a signal on copper. Copper's going to try again. Fortunately, this time the bands are closing. So I don't know. Let's see what happens here. This is a good candle. See, I was right. I said here would be a good candle to get in on when it first sent that buy signal and then pulled it. We would have had a pullback of 7 ticks, and then we would have went. Getting here to here, we would be up 90% of my profit goal. Now I'm not sure if I want to get in here because of how close we are to the Bollinger. You can see it here. That's plotted. The third band plotted. You can see it pulling down, and you can see here now it hit that first band. The second deviation band, and it pulled back off of there by now by 5 ticks. Yeah, 5 ticks. Still got 3 minutes on this candle to try and decide what we want to do. We are coming up on 10:30. We'll probably wrap up the stream sometime in the next 15, 20 minutes or so. Unless something exciting happens, then we'll get closer to the 11 o'clock hour, but we'll not go past the 11 o'clock hour because I got groceries coming. Definitely strong candle here. We do have this resistance point from earlier, which is now 24 ticks away. Sorry about that. So this candle is now a 22 tick candle. It's a very strong candle. Still got a minute and 37 seconds on it. See that the Bollinger Band is about 419.83 for the third band. So got some room up to there. Band will expand some. I'm going to take this trade if it stays like this, but I think I'm going to pull it earlier than my stop loss if I see it's quickly turning around. I can actually see. Let's see. Not taking the trade. I just got a feeling, and I should never doubt copper, but it's got a feeling. So far, 3 ticks backwards indicates my feelings right. But I have a feeling what I think this is gonna do, honestly, is I think it's gonna pull back this candle, and then next candle will be green. We'll keep an eye on it, but I should have switched over to Sim and just taken the trade in Sim and see how it worked out. Gold just gave a signal. Wow, why am I looking at this gold chart like this? There we go. There it is. So gold hit that new low of the day and then came back up to the SMA line. Making those kind of moves, big move down, sets a new low, which was here, back up to the SMA, came back down to the new low, back up to the SMA. Uh, Back to our drama here on the SPY, the S&P 500. We have broken through, and we are at that resistance line from yesterday. We are up to 43.45. So now that resistance line can go away. And now we're looking for our next resistance line, which would be that in a minute, which would be here. Also from yesterday. We'll draw it here. That wick could have just been something wild right out there though. At 43.48, which we're not real far away from. So let's draw out the next one right away, which would be way up here, which was at yesterday's high of the day. And that's at 43.61. And that would be a really, really strong move up if it can reach there. It did kind of pull back off this resistance, this original resistance line from yesterday. We'll replace that resistance line now with our high of day line. And we'll see if this is just a pullback like it was here and here, or whether or not this is the reversal. Right now this shows a good sign of a reversal candle because it's a strong move down with a large topping wick. So if it stays like that, that's an excellent sign of a reversal candle. But kind of got that same kind of candle here at 8.55. But this was more of a doji because it had wicks on both sides. So you got to look at the wicks on both sides. This is a doji candle now because it's basically even. It's trying to push back up. Still got a minute and 30 on that. Right now, copper pulled back 5 ticks from where I would have entered on this trade. So again, we'll see whether or not I should not have doubted copper. Crude's made a new high again. Gas prices are going to go up. Up, yep, never doubt copper. Big, strong move. Big, strong move. Y'all can tell me how much of an idiot I am. Right now, I'll be sitting 1 tick from my profit target. No, it hit exactly this resistance line from earlier. I think. Actually, 1 tick above it. And pulled back. So now the smart thing probably would have been to actually, since it's within the profit target, if I had taken that trade, to slightly adjust it, my profit target, to be right on that resistance line. It still would have been an 18 tick winner, which is about $225, I believe. And it would have been a good win and a good high percentage play in case it bounced, like it seems like it's trying to do. Because it's also, if you look, it not only hit that, but it also hit the Bollinger Band. And to add resistance to more resistance, we also have a 200 EMA line. So you basically have 3 areas of resistance within a few ticks of this area. So this would have been a great place to place a stop loss, or not stop loss, I'm sorry, a profit target to get out of this trade. And I still would have got a $200 to $225 profit. Big pullback here on this candle by 8 ticks. We'll see if that's just giving it room to breathe or whether or not that actually causes it to reverse at this level. If you look on the 2-minute, it's gone up for quite a while. So we'll see how it goes. This ended up being a doji candle on the S&P. This is often an indicator of a reversal, but it could also be a breather. I would not have entered a reverse, to here, but it would have been a decent percentage play to enter. We can see what the Nasdaq's doing. Nasdaq's basically doing the same. A little bit more sideways over the last 25 minutes or so. But they created another new high for the day. Russell's just doing its own thing. It's just continuing to make its new highs. Gold bounced off that SMA line hard, just like it did here. Did the same thing here. Strong downtrend. So here, copper did pull back, and we're actually now below the entry price. Now I would have ended up my trade management, once I had gotten that close, would have moved it up to, I believe, a 6 tick trailing stop loss where I would have got 6 ticks out of this trade. So this would have been a $75 winner if I would not move the stop down to meet those resistance points. So it flushed hard down off those 2 resistance points, or 3 resistance points really, if you include the Bollinger Band. So, excuse me. I haven't checked the bonds lately. Bonds finally found that they're oomph downwards. You can see here, we got the master sell right here, 730. Oh, actually, this is a 15-minute chart. So what we got in on this trade here, I was doing 10 by 5. No, I'm sorry, 8 by 5. That would have been a winner. Oh, interesting. So it wasn't another real entry here, but we see that pullback. This is our winner earlier, but we could have used right here, oops, as an entry point again. Once this candle came down, broke here, we could have entered here, and that would have been another good winner. So it looks like this was a good reversal candle, because the next candle went down 5 points, $250 a contract. Let's see if that was breather or if we're gonna go sideways now. I think if I had a prediction, I would think we saw this move upwards. I think we're gonna go kind of sideways for a bit. It might try a couple of times to hit that high, but I think either we're gonna go sideways and then it'll decide which direction it wants to go. As we get ready to wrap up, anybody have any questions or comments or anything? I would love to hear them. We see this move up on copper. This might have just been a breath. It did kind of, we had a little bounce off the 200 period SMA, EMA down here. I don't pay as much attention to EMAs on the 2-minute, but sometimes. Next stream is tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm currently in talks with the Lamborghini manufacturers about making one all in copper, and hopefully we'll get that rolling off the production line sometime soon. Thank you for joining me, CFT. Yep, stream on Wednesday evening and then Friday morning. And I think Friday morning we might try and take a bunch of trades. Like just try and on sim, not on the gauntlet, on sim. Just try and take a bunch of things as the bot calls them, just to see how it does. Were you trading CFT or were you catching beauty sleep? You're welcome, Aralo. Thank you for joining me. Still got a few minutes here. Yeah, I'm not closing it down quite yet. We have this riveting drama yet to see whether or not copper actually would have reached my profit target if I had entered that trade, and the riveting drama of whether or not the S&P can get above this level. Yeah, CFT, you definitely should. You know, if there's anyone that should invest in Dogecoin, it should be you. So Nasdaq uh, creeping above its highs, making new highs. Copper. So see, copper did pull back and is now trying to reach that profit target. I probably won't take another trade today. You know, even once I'm off the stream, I'll get back to working on MTurk and all that. So totals for the day: $530 on the Gauntlet account, $320 on the Sim account. That includes the $150 loss on that garbage test on Mini Copper. So overall, this if I had taken all those trades on the Gauntlet, or if I just combine them all together, been close to $1,000 day, which would have been awesome. But I'm happy with 530 on the Gauntlet, and there we go. Copper just reached my profit target. So look at this, guys. This is why I like copper. Look at this. Let's count with me. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 1 loss, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins. If I had stayed up, well, first of all, I mean, I was up for 4 of these trades, and then I went then, so I only took one. But okay, so if I stayed up and I just entered all these trades, 11 wins to 1 loss. Oh, total mean for the day. The total's $530 up for the day on the Gauntlet, and then there's another $320 in profit on the Sim. I took a really good trade on the UB earlier on the Sim. I went one for two on the UB. 5 tick loser, then a 9 tick winner. But so yeah, $530 today on the Gauntlet. If I had just taken all those copper trades, I'd be up a couple thousand. Of course, being up a couple thousand would put me in a situation of being above the consistency rule, but you know. Oh, I I keep pulling back and uh, I'm 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. I'm at $582, so most of my profits from the gauntlets come from today. I've had 2 really good days, and then I gave it away the next 2 days. So I still got a ways to go, like $3,800. But I still got 10 more days. I mean, 5 more days to go before the 15. So you know, I should be close if I continue this momentum and taking trades that actually work. Instead of just sitting on my hands like I've been doing. So you know, still hoping by toward the end of October to be funded. I just need to be a little less conservative. Not sure if you can. I guess you can't zoom this in. No. So the S&P is trying to get through that last resistance. We'll go for about 2 more minutes and then we'll wrap up. Nasdaq's continuing to show strength upwards. Russell's playing around there as well. Gold, I mean, it's made these moves off the SMA, but it's been kind of a choppy fest. So yeah, 11 wins and 1 loss today on copper if I would have taken all the trades. And this is interesting because this has been an awesome week for copper because if you look at my spreadsheet, if I can find it, yesterday was 10 and 6. So I mean that's 21 and 7. So I believe that's a 75% win rate so far this week on copper. Last week was about 65% overall. One day went 11 and 2. So that's like today. It was 11 and 1 so far. I'm sure there'll be a couple more trades to add to it that'll probably bring up another loss or two. Okay, one last look at the indices. The S&P is now, let's see, what was its high? 47. The S&P has just made another new high as it goes up toward that resistance point from yesterday. Definitely seeing bullish momentum today. Wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of grind slowly up for a good portion of the day. That's our, at least or at some point it's probably going to go sideways. But it's another great day in the U.S. stock market and futures market. Ooh, CFT. That corn chart's ugly. Good you didn't trade it today. But soybean has been nice. Soybean oil since open, over $600. Corn just ugly. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I want to thank everybody for joining me. See you here Wednesday evening and then Friday morning for the next streams. And then I'll start figuring out next week's schedule as well. Thanks again and have a great day. Bye.